Hussein and his followers was extreme. Yazid's cavalry was said to have blockaded the Euphrates, so that Hussein's party had to fight without water. And in the telling and retelling of this story, Hussein and his followers became the founding martyrs of Shia Islam. The iconography of thirst and multiple wounds is enshrined in annual commemorations, in which devotees inflict similar sufferings on themselves, thereby entering into the martyrdom of Hussein. These Karbala processions, and the later Passion plays, grew in importance during the Safavid dynasty, 1501 to 1736, and today are followed by huge audiences, physically present and watching on YouTube. Large casts and high production values make them high-profile events in which audiences and cast alike enter with deep emotion, sharing in suffering and confessing guilt for complicity in its infliction. The Karbala story has had great power in Shia Islam down the centuries, and its imagery has been used to frame and interpret contemporary events in different ways. A striking example is the Iranian memorialization of the Iran-Iraq War, 1980 to 1988. Both countries have a Shia majority, but the Iraqi leader, Saddam Hussein, was a secularized Sunni who had treated Shiites in Iraq severely. This made it easy for Iran to frame the war as an echo of the Battle of Karbala. The Karbala story was already important in the rhetoric of Iran's revolution, in which the Shah had been compared to Yazid. But it was in the 1980s that this imagery was most powerful. Ayatollah Khomeini, 1902 to 1989, and other Iranian leaders drew on the imagery of the Karbala story to mobilize the population for war, praying in a 1983 sermon, "Cause us to be among the people of Karbala." Saddam Hussein was Yazid. Iranian soldiers could have the privilege of becoming Hussein. As the war progressed and the casualties mounted, the need to give meaning to suffering on the battlefield was often met with the symbolism of the Karbala martyrs, whilst on the home front, media helped forge a narrative to motivate young men to sacrifice. These two agendas were closely intertwined and worked out in similar forms. Murals and posters commemorating the war dead appeared across Iran, often drawing parallels between the death of soldiers and the martyrdom of Hussein. In one Tehran mural, a young soldier in contemporary military fatigues carries a modern rifle, but around his head is a red band emblazoned with the text, "Oh, the shining moon of the tribe of Hashim, Hussein." Behind him is the golden dome of Hussein's shrine at Karbala, in what is now Iraq. A 1981 poster depicts an Iranian soldier being shot. Behind him, holding his white horse, is Imam Hussein. They are connected by a green cloak which they both hold, implying that Hussein is about to pull him into paradise. On the left are three headless figures, fellow martyrs who died with Hussein at the Battle of Karbala. These and many other images draw on the iconography of the Karbala martyrdoms, the primal example of self-sacrifice, central to the identity of Shia Islam. In this interplay between religion and war, a number of themes come into focus. Religion provides symbolism heavily loaded with accessible meaning and rhetorical force. It can be used both to mobilize societies to fight wars and also to soften the sense of loss by making death in war part of a noble and significant story. The concept of a martyr is interesting here. A victory from which combatants return whole and alive tells its own story of purpose and hope. To be bereaved through war with no winners, by contrast, can be heartbreaking and meaningless. In the midst of loss and defeat, the concept of martyrdom may offer, for some, a kind of comfort. The martyr is one who dies a seemingly purposeless death, which, in the light of eternity, turns out to have cosmic significance. For some, seeing those they have lost as martyrs may help give an answer to the question what sense can be made of such terrible deaths. Of course, another possible answer to this question is no sense at all. Some may be reduced to this, and indeed may take comfort from its starkness. When those who sorrow